Oh shit, I just realized I'm freaking afraid of this pop. I think I'm afraid my brain will explode and I'll lose myself. That's a very reasonable thing to be afraid of. The creator has a dark sense of humor. Like when it happens, when the pop goes off, it does feel like your brains are blown out. It's like, you're like, what? And then everything starts. Like the pineal gland activates during the point of birth and it activates at death. And it also activates in the deep state of meditation. So when you get into that state where you're transferring through the death that you're going to have eventually, giving yourself a way to that, you're going to go through some things and come back. And you may not exactly be just your normal self that you knew yourself to be. You know the phrase eat or be eaten? It is eat and be eaten at the same time. Uh, you're opening yourself up to the entire creation. You're blossoming, you're blooming, and showing who you are, while everything comes by and samples you at the same time. Ancient spirits descend and flow through you, and at the same time, you have to hold yourself together and know who you are to keep yourself steady. This is also why I have taught to sit down and go inside of yourself, daydream of a place of earth, fire, water, air. Have temples within yourself, within your temple. Know thyself. Remember what you've done. Know your story, so that when you undergo this process, you do not lose yourself. The sage knows that it never ends. So this is just a test that you're going through at that time, and you have your basis of self within yourself that you built as yourself. That shadow matter within you, the person you visualize yourself being, the ways you've gone through yourself, inside yourself, to work through your problems, inside your meditations, your daydreams, to confront your demons, to vanquish them and make them your power. All these actions that you take inside yourself do matter, and it builds into who you truly are, vice what the world sees, because we don't always show ourselves to be who we truly are. The pop going off inside your head, that's just the first stage. That's the initiation of it beginning. And then you go into DMT land. You'll be lost inside the dreaming. Anything and everything can happen. Like it feels real, but it feels realer than real. At the same time, it feels very unreal. When you're in this state, your desires will come to you. So, what is it that you truly desire? I kept my focus on the creator and trying to go back to the creator to be like, hey, yo, kids are committing suicide. Kind of need help on a planet. Shouldn't be happening, bro. Shouldn't be happening. You're going to listen to me. So, my mind was very focused on my task. If you only have one chance to meet the creator of everything and tell him something, what would it be that you would tell him? What would be your report? A report is something that you have to do. You have to give it to him. It's like a dying need within you that you're like, I have to tell you this before I go. If you can find that, you can use that as your focus and you won't lose yourself because you have a purpose for going into that state, for entering into the world beneath the worlds. This process of getting to the doorway is to be able to say, I will not go silently into the night. I will continue on and fight. What do you stand for? In order to get into the kingdom of heaven and gain the immortality, you must either understand that you are because the creator exists and he makes copies of himself and you accept your position, or you must also have a need for you to have that immortality, for you to rise back from the grave, to resurrect and get up over and over again. There's something within you that must be done, that drives you, something that you protect. I desire to be that guy that goes past kids and like flicks my finger and you can see fire and I'm like, shh, and I keep on walking. And I don't just want to do it on this one world. I kind of want to world walk and go to different places and see different people, different species, and sit there and do the thing, and then like and disappear. Any world that I'm upon, this should not happen. I can become the person that makes a change, that brings the inspiration necessary to raise the vibration of the children. I don't really care about the adults, but I can set the game up for the kids, and that's what's important. The 15th wish awaits. Really, what are the odds of that dropping down right now? There's also the other path of like understanding the creator. After all, it is seeking something. The creator has explained that it is jealous and it does these things whenever it's using its ego. Like it is an actual person. It has its own thing. It's trying to make other identities. It's trying to make other good people to share eternity with. Won't give it to just anyone. Must be proven. Must go through something that seems kind of catastrophic. But at the same time, you hold yourself together. Testing. Like the test of Job. Everyone gets tested in some way or another in order to get back in. So don't be afraid of it. Just, be your best self. You'll stand up to the measure if you're doing your best self. Before in the past, the creator made chosen people and said, these are my people. And then they lorded themselves over everybody else. And you see that that stuff still is there. Even those people aren't even the real people that were the people that did that stuff. That's a whole different group of people that are claiming to be something. And still those people started worshiping other things besides the creator. So he's like, man, I'm gonna get over this worship stuff. He did. He wants other people to exist with him in the now. That's a big part of this. Like if you're gonna worship something, yes, you're supposed to worship the creator. But does he want your worship? It doesn't change his position or what he is from your worship. He's not an energy state being that's made up by people's thoughts and stuff all coming together to make an egregore that kind of serves as their god. No, he is the being that always is. Like always is. What you're turning yourself into is an ark for humanity. You're going into the ark of the covenant. You're making a covenant with the creator. It's all singularity based. We are points of singularity, essentially. We are taking in light and information from the world around us and building that into an accretion disk that forms inside of our head of sorts of cold plasma. This accretion disk is all the information, the thoughts of everything that we've embodied and have around us. It's swirling there. It's all information, light. All this information, these thoughts that you've had about who you are and what you are, truly you're just another part of singularity. It's once all this collapses in upon the singularity that you impregnate that aspect of yourself with who you truly are, which allows you to implode and go off. This pushback inside of you forces the rabbit hole to go off and you start going to the singularity. You fall to the point beyond comprehension and you're just there into the darkness of the first state, the being. You're like, oh man, this would be really boring really quick. I can see why everything was made, because the creator's like, I just exist. I am now. I bring this up all the time. Shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it, because it's beyond the light and dark. You get shot back out of there because the creator's like, you're not me. And now you're moving around just woo inside this area, right? You're going. This accretion disk is getting dragged, not just spinning, it's getting dragged along the whole thing on the outside. This is what leads to the activation of the sun. It's the same plasma ring, just moving around it rapidly, really fast to make it seem like it's going slow. Inside of the ancient spiritual teachings, a sun is electric and a moon is magnetic. So an arc, you form an arc, you make an arc of the covenant with the creator. You enter the solar dynasty, which is what it was called inside of ancient India, having a soul. So yes, you will lose yourself, but you also find yourself to be more yourself than you ever were before. Don't be afraid of the change. Just go through the test whenever it does come to you. If it happens, it happens. Don't be scared. Understand that you're about to go through a test and show your best self. It's a sign point, something that only happens internally, that only you can know that it happened. You can say it popped, but it doesn't mean it really popped. But when it actually pops and it goes off, you'll be like, no, I felt something pop, and you will know. Don't be scared. Be prepared. Being immortal is cool, and you get to a point where you can make your own planet by the energy that you have attained, so you can do pretty much anything you want. There are certain things we don't do, but you can do pretty much anything you want. You can make whatever you want. You can dream together with people in ways that people have yet to begin to comprehend. So don't be afraid to let go and take on your multi-armed form too. You have many different parts to yourself that you still have to discover. It's going to be cool, I promise.